Hello and welcome to 5 takeaways of Borussia Dortmund's 3-0 win over 1860 Munich in the first round of the German Cup today on Friday, which marked the first official game of the season. And here is takeaway number 1. And my first takeaway is also my main takeaway, and that is that this game was fun because especially going into a new season and after a very rocky preseason that Dortmund had, you never know quite where you stand. And of course, 1860 Munich are a very capable third division team. I think they're going to be in the run for promotion to the second Bundesliga, and since they have already started their season, they have a bit more rhythm, so you never quite know what you can expect. And I was really positively surprised, I must say. This Dortmund team was fun from the first minute on, really. We had some really good combination play. It was free-flowing, and Dortmund also very tidy when it came to regaining possessions. So yeah, they really smothered their opponent, but more about that later. I think the important part here is that it was enjoyable because there were too many games in the past where they got a result, but after 5 minutes you sort of wanted to forget about the performance. But today I'm really happy with how things looked, and so let's move on to the second takeaway, and that of course has to do with the lineup, and that is that Niklas Süle and Nico Schlotterbeck are seemingly the first choice centre-back pairing. Mats Hummels only starting off the bench, and as you can see here, of course, the lineup in general was very interesting. We had a back four, and then I don't know if it was a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, but what is wrong in my lineup here is that Malen definitely played on the left and not on the right, where Adeyemi played. But still, I thought in general that this was a very good choice by Edin Terzic, a very strong 11, and I think having both Moukoko and then the team of Adeyemi and Malen as wingers was a very strong option, and I was very happy with it. And overall, I think this is a very balanced team. And as I said, it was easy on the ice, and of course, if you set a back four, there's always a question that who would win the center-back race. And as it looks right now, Schlotterbeck and Süle are ahead of Mats Hummels. Takeaway number 3 is that Daniel Malen was cooking today. As Adam Dorowski pointed out, he had a Jadon Sancho hat-trick, and that means he scored 1 goal, he had an assist, and he had a pre-assist. And that goal he scored was very beautiful. He beat 2 defenders and then slotted it to the inside of the post, where it then bounced to the far corner post and then into the goal. Very beautiful ricochet goal, if you will. I could not have aimed it any better. And he also had a pre-assist, of course, as I just said, in the second goal, where Dortmund had a superb combination. I think it sort of started with Adeyemi having a switch of play to Schlotterbeck, and then I think he found Guerrero, and he passed over to Daniel Malen, and then you had a 1-2 between Malen and Royce, and he just then squared it off for Bellingham, who had an easy tap in. And part of Daniel Malen's man of the match performance. And then he also provided the assist for the third goal. But not only that, he also did cook. His defender was Christopher Lannert, who was the poor right back for 1860 Munich, who was already booked in the 12 minutes because he had a very blatant shirt tug on Malen, because he was just cooked. And after 20 minutes, it was good night for him, because he had to come up. Because the 1860 Munich coach did not want to see his right back be sent off. So there was a very early substitution. It was actually a double switch because they also had to substitute their striker due to injury concerns. But the main takeaway here is, of course, that Daniel Malen is ready to play. And if we look at the stats, he scored already in the 8th minute, and then the next 2 goals that he provided and set up for Jude Bellingham in the 31st minute, and then Karim Adeyemi in the 35th. Of course, Adeyemi's goal was probably offside, but there's no VAR in the first round of the German Cup, and also it was a bit of a goalkeeper error rather than a well-taken goal, but I personally don't care. It was a very comprehensive performance. And that takes me to my 4th takeaway today, which is a clean sheet. Borussia Dortmund with very comprehensive defense, and I don't know if you want to weigh this higher than the first takeaway. The Dortmund looked very good on the attack and in their combination play. But the way they regained possession, the way they managed to utterly suffocate the opposition was just also beautiful to watch and very promising, because Dortmund has leaked so many goals last season. So even if it's just against a lower division opponent, being this dominant, and I think we can take a quick look at the stats here. They had 83% possession, especially in the second half. They just, controlled the game a lot and, dictated tempo, of course. But the opponent had just one meager shot and 0 on target to Dortmund's 11. It is just utter dominance. And there was a nice moment from Karim Adeyemi where he was sort of at the top of the opponent's box and tried to cut the ball back, but cut it to an opponent, if you will. But then instead of hesitating or complaining or, being mad at himself, he just ran back and snuffed out the pass, which would have led to a potential counterattack. And to me, that is very promising, because it was sort of symbolic of Dortmund's overall performance today. Everyone was super focused in defense. The pressing was very crisp, and they just snuffed them out in midfield. And I'm very happy with that, because obviously when they play against Bayer Leverkusen next week, it's going to be, of course, much more difficult. But at least this is sort of the foundation and the baseline to a good defensive performance. And of course, having Niklas Süle and Schlotterbeck in first half also looked really promising in their defensive backtracking, because when there was a ball played behind Dortmund's defense, either Süle or Schlotterbeck got to their opponents, and some nice clean tackling there by Schlotterbeck as well. Just wanted to highlight that. Looked good. It's obviously just very early on, but nevertheless, I think the way that Dortmund did defend is a main point as well, especially if they can continue that sort of thing going forward, because it is, of course, vital to their success. And so I wanted to highlight it. And lastly, my fifth takeaway is that Borussia Dortmund did not suffer any injuries today, which I think is also good news. Of course, we had a halftime substitution where Hummels came on for Süle, but I don't think that was injury related. And so not having anyone really go down, sit on the field and signaling that he can continue, I think is also a very positive thing, considering how the last season went. So I'll take it. So obviously much more to say about this game, and I will have a BVB update with post-match quotes and other stuff that happened today out shortly. But I just wanted to start off with my 5 takeaways, and let me know in the comments, please, what you learned from this game, and whether you were positively surprised or disappointed, what you learned, and just your overall thoughts. I'd really like to read them and then reminisce with you together, maybe in the BVB updates a little bit further about this game. But anyway, that's it from me. Until next time, thank you for watching and goodbye.